What's up guys? This video is going to be showing you how to fix the C28 code on your 07 GSXR 750. The first step is going to be removing this tank. Now the way to do that is start with the seat. Just take the seat off, and then once you take the seat off, it's going to be with these two bolts. And all you have to do is just shimmy this plastic off. Alright, put this off to the side. The next thing you're going to do is take off this bolt right here. I have a GPR stabilizer, so I'm going to have to take off these two bolts and then that one. But you want to leave this main bolt attached, and I'll show you why later. Okay, this is going to be the last one we take off. So, I'll go ahead and remove these three bolts, and then we'll continue from there. Okay, so now that you've got this removed, you should be able to just lift it, and it'll rotate on that rear spring. Now, if you slowly lift it up, what you want to do is, it's hard to see, but there's a quick disconnect right here. I'm going to go ahead and push those tabs in. Let's see. This is where it's nice if you have an extra hand, but if not, it's not going to be able to get a good view of this, but you're really just going to push those tabs and just wiggle it. There we go. So, as you can see, that's disconnected, and then you want to go ahead and just wiggle these lines off. Put the tank back down. Now, that's when you go ahead and remove the bolt that's right there. So I'll go ahead, get that bolt off, and then I'll show you what we're looking at. Alright, now that I have this bolt loose, kind of just lift the tank up, and you can slide it out. Put this over here. And then go ahead, and you should just be able to slowly lift. Let's ram that out of the way. Come on. There we go. Get those hooks behind that. And, oh, forgot one connector down here. So let's see. Push that tab in. Now this is going to be the plug-in for your fuel pump. Once you got that, just take the tank. Go. Move it out of the way. So what we're left with here, these are obviously the lines that go to the tank. You got your fuel rail, these right here for that power commander and stuff. So the next thing we're going to do is take off this air box. The way to do that, first just remove these two up here, unplug this, and then in this case, you may not be as lucky, but I've done this enough times to where I can just get mine to pop off. Otherwise, you see these screws here, you have to take all those out and then just kind of wiggle it. I'll show you where this actually hooks up. Take that hose off. Take this connector off, as well as, if I can get it, let's see, that one. Now, my rectifier is in my airbox, so it's obviously not stock, but yours is going to be in a different position, so you may or may not even need to remove this portion of it. Put that up here. So now we're left with secondary throttle body valves, and this is our actual code right here. Let's get a little grime. So what I'm going to do is, while I'm working on this, I'm going to go get some rags and just stuff them in here, that way nothing falls in there. Alright guys, now that I've got these kind of filled in, the way I see this, this is what you're going to be looking at, right? This is what controls your secondary throttle bodies. This is held in by screws that you really can't get access to. So the only options I see to get that out is to drop the motor, which I don't want to do. You can undo, it's kind of hard to see, but there's these screws that hold the boots that go to the actual block. Or, it's real hard to see, but you have, can you see that shiny rod right there? There's one on this side too. So these are like little retainer clips that look exactly like these. So what you're looking at is these right here. And all this does is basically clamp this rubber to that portion up here. So what you're going to do is you're going to have to come in and unscrew these. Same thing with, like I said, if you're struggling earlier, this is actually what you're going to want to do. is unscrew these to get them loose. Mine are snug enough to where I'm not really worried about it. But what you're going to have to do is, this side isn't too hard. You're going to have to use a long screwdriver. This one says P2 on it. I guess that's the size you need. And you're going to feed it through. And you're going to, let's see if I can, I don't know if you can get the angle. But it's right back in there. Oh, shit, oops. That's the screw you're looking for. So basically, you're going to want to unscrew that, get it nice and loose. This side's a little more difficult, but same thing. Get that one loose. Then you're just going to have to be gentle. And okay, so what I did was I backed these screws way out so you can see these are the rings that hold it in place. So we'll go this back here. I mean, these things are completely loose on both sides. And I tried grabbing from here and pulling up from here, because what I don't want to do is mess with these fuel rails. So what I ended up doing is I have this little crowbar wrapping up with the towel, and I'm just sliding it right here between the block and this. You have to be very careful. So once I get it in there, you can see kind of tilting, and it goes. Boom. Just like that, it's out. I've tried yanking, pulling, everything you could think of, and it's not going to come out, guys, unless you get something and just pop it out right in there. But now that we have that out, really what we are focusing on is this component over here. So I should be able to get those two screws out now. Let's see here. So it should just be this one screw here. And out. And then that screw there. I guess before we do that, just disconnect this connector right here. Disconnect that one. Come on, there we go. Oh, now is there a third screw somewhere? Oh, no, that's just the, there. That's just the shaft there. Now, oh, okay. Note to self. Cover these back up again. But this is our trouble child. Now, one, I like to say, I'll put it out at the beginning, you definitely should disconnect your battery. It's electrical too. You're going to want to try to keep these covered as much as possible. And then I'm probably going to go through, because I have an air compressor, and just wipe this all down with brake cleaner and clean it all out, slightly blow it out. But this is what we're looking at now. So what we can do, the zip tie here was my temporary fix just to get it working, because I had a bad connection. But we'll go ahead, we'll take this somewhere else, and we'll go ahead and start taking it apart.